Good morning, everybody. All right, this is HIT. HIT is your weekly dosage of business talk. Here to inspire, challenge, innovate, and
provoke.
There you go. Starting our segment on you're lazy and you're not gonna make it.
Not at all.
Man, all right. That's a mouthful. All right, let's chat. What does that mean? Javi, let's kick it off with I promise this wasn't a clickbait. This is going to be a good conversation this week.
Yeah, well, this conversation is basically about what you tell yourself.
Man.
You know, and how you put these limited beliefs and everything that's stopping you. You know, your insecurities is what's disabling you.
Man.
You know, so it's just a little bit more about that. We're going to dive into it.
All right, good deal. So, all right, you're lazy and you're not going to make it, right? There's so much in that. So, man, I wanted to first start off with you're not going to make it. What does that mean, you know? These are the things to me, and Javi, tell me if you got something different here, these are the things that we tell ourselves, right? You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it, man. Man, you wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I don't want to get out of bed. Man, you're not going to make it. Man, I don't want to get out of You're not going to make it.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to make $1 million or you know, you're not going to push the envelope forward, or you're not going to reach your goal.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, or even that you even hate your job that you're currently at right now, and you're just like, fuck, man, I'm even further away from what I thought I was. I thought we would be, you know, riding spaceships and heading to Mars, but you know, looking at it when I was 9 years old compared to the age that I am now.
You know, it's funny that you said that you're hating your job. How many of us are working a job that we hate? What's the difference between a job, a career, and something that we love to do? I mean, what's the difference, man?
I think a career a little bit more is something that you if you go to any other field or to any other organization, that's still your career. You know, You're a doctor, you know, just because you leave Baptist, you still go to another place, that's your career. You know, you're a doctor. Job is, you know, your cashiers, your service workers, you know, that could easily switch. You know, you could be a cashier 1 year, and then all of a sudden now you're a customer service representative at X, Y, and Z company.
Yep.
And a passion, you know, I work mainly through passion. I'm fueled by passion, and my passion is music.
Mm-hmm.
And and that right now is not what is paying my bills, all my bills. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this, Javi. Can you have a job type, maybe a McDonald's, maybe a cashier, maybe something, right? Something small, smaller, or in the beginning phase of your business career, right? That is technically in that category of a career. Can you have can you have a job that's in that category of a career?
Well,
and I'll tell you why. I'm thinking that. There's a lot of people out there who hate their job, but it's a career. It's a long-term suck for them, right? They've been doing it for years and years and years and years.
They're doomed in the simulation, you know.
Exactly.
Going to work same time, leaving that place, going back to work.
When did Colonel Sanders start KFC? Didn't he start that when he was, in his 70s?
Oh, damn. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he...
I always thought Colonel Sanders was actually like a young guy and just, you know, hey, man.
It's that old guy in the picture.
Put the old guy as the mascot. I mean...
No, man. Look, sometimes some of us are doing things for a long period of time that we hate, right? And then there are the other ones that are doing something for a long time that we love.
Right. Well, like... When you asked me that question, I immediately thought of my dad, and we just got off the phone. But he started off as a dishwasher. You know, I started off there, and he made the best of his situation, of his job, right? He said, this job I'm going to turn into a career because I'm going to become a manager, and I'm going to end up being, you know, one of the top bosses, which he is today.
Yeah.
You know, it was a grind. It took, you know, 20 years plus, you know, well, he was in management before that, but like, you know, 20 years with the same company, being devoted, being loyal, you know, seeing bosses left and right come in and out, knowing more than his boss is actually the worst pain that he has right now, is because like, bitch, I know more than you. Like I taught you, like I trained you. Imagine that. It's almost like when the shift cashier trains a new person, that's all of a sudden the assistant manager, and you're just like, what? I trained this person. Like it's almost like a slap in the face when you don't get that promotion to most people.
Well, and that's exactly it, right? Like perfect example. 2 days ago, this just happened. I went to Taco Bell. I was getting some food, and
as you usually do,
when
you're at Taco Bell,
somewhat debate. so I was at Taco Bell, and then I stopped in and I said hi. I was talking with this guy. I asked him about one of the menu changes that they had, and he was like, "I don't know. I have no idea." And I was like, "Well, dang." And he's like, "Yeah, I just started a month ago." And then I asked him, I was like, "Oh, nice. Congratulations. Do you like working here at Taco Bell?" And he's like, "No, I hate this place."
Oh, my God. He said all that?
He's just like...
This guy's just venting to you. Are you his therapist? Are you charging for per diem or something? The hell?
He ain't getting the employee of the month. I'm just saying, But, I mean, so brutally honest. He's like, "I hate this place." I hate, smelling like grease at the end of the day. And I'm like... All right, and I told him, I was like, "Man, I so appreciate your honesty."
Right.
But just think about those people who's been 25 years in the business, and they hate it. They hate what they do. And now let me ask you this, Javi, do you think the production level is going to show it?
110%. Yes. That guy, he's been there for a month and he doesn't know any changes. He doesn't know any subtle changes in the menu, or he doesn't know the latest new thing, And granted, it's probably Taco Bell, and he's like, do I really need to take this serious? Yeah. I'm cashing in, $200 a week, $300 a week, or whatever like that. But it starts there.
But it's not even the amount, right? It's not even what he's getting. I mean, I know guys who are raking into $100,000-$200,000 a year, and they hate it.
And they hate it.
And they hate what they do. So I don't really think it's about the money.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
think
it's
it's all up there.
It's all up here, right?
It's all the mindset. It's them saying that to themselves too. I hate this job. They wake up in the morning, they're like, I hate going to this place. I can't believe it. I'm going to be here.
Right.
You can't just shake that off, unless you're like Denzel Washington, and then just it's time to act, and you could put on this great act in this show, and you could be this charismatic and serviceful and coming from contribution while you're at the establishment, but it's going to rub off. It's going to rub off, and also you're going to affect everybody else's energy there too. Yeah. Especially if you're someone like a shift leader or whatever the heck.
Yeah. And I totally understand when there's parts of the job that they dislike and they're discontent doing. Right. I get that. You know what I mean? Like lead generation, getting on the phone, calling people who don't want to talk to you for, 2-3 hours a day. That sucks.
Right. Yeah.
It really does suck. Right. Mm-hmm. But man, if I wake up in the morning, get out of bed and say, I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate what I do. I hate what I do. I'm not going to wake up early. I'm not going to be the first one at the office and say, yippee,
You're going to come in late.
Yeah,
leave early.
And my production level is gonna show for it, right?
Yeah, and those calls too, yeah.
And I'm gonna just put something out there right now.
Go ahead.
Some of you guys listening to this, you need to quit your job. You need to quit what you hate doing. Yeah. And it might be life shattering. You might need to have a one-to-one with your spouse and say, hey, look, I honestly hate what I do.
Yeah. Well, before that, I think you need to look in that dirty mirror and look at yourself, or maybe get a little Windex and clean it up a little bit and be like, hold on, I look a little better. But you have to speak about it on yourself. But yes, then after that, move on talking to your spouse.
Yeah, man.
And saying, hey, I absolutely hate. Because also some people where they. Because, like, you're right. I know people that are doing great at their jobs. They have a nice salary position, but they hate it simply because of the fact they feel like they're stuck. Mm-hmm. I'm here at this level of management, and I don't see any room of growth, or at least coming from the hospitality industry, is that you either waiting for two things: that person to pass away, or them to get a promotion somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because other than that, you're not moving.
Now, think about it this way, right? We got a lot of business owners listening to this podcast. Mm-hmm. A lot of you guys out there, shout out to you. You guys, I mean, honestly, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're working yourself up early and you hate what you do, man, you really need a reality check on what you do, right? But if you love what you do and you need that mindset every day of, it's like, okay, I dislike doing some aspects of this work. That's okay. That's workable. We can work with that. But man, going back to it, man, if you hate what you do, man, have a reality check. You're probably just better off and just dropping that. But anyway, going back, you're lazy and you're not going to make it. What does that mean? So I was thinking about this topic, Javi, and I was thinking about this. So I was like, look, if we come into the office, right, either we're entrepreneurs or we're business owners or we work for the man, right? and we're telling ourselves I'm not going to make it, man. I'm not going to meet my goals. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do that.
It's not going to happen. Not going to get that promotion.
Yeah.
Or I'm not worth the raise that I'm thinking of asking for.
Yeah. And now think about what that mindset is going to do. Well, if I'm not worth it and if I'm not going to be able to do it, chances are you're not going to do it. You're not going to strive enough to do it, right? Like we were speaking on our last episode here, about perfecting your espresso. If you didn't watch that, make sure you go back and watch that one. That was
click
a good
up
one.
Here. We'll have it linked.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Right over there.
There it is. It's all backwards here.
It's all backwards. Yeah.
So, I mean, and going back and listen to that, perfecting what you do and doing a lot better. But going back to that, if you know your big why, if you know what you do and you love what you do, you know how to work with that, right? But man, if you keep telling yourself, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to get that promotion, I'm not going to get that listing, I'm not going to be able to, that client that I've been trying to call, he's not going to answer my call, man, you're speaking that out into the universe, right? And I'm not trying to be all spiritual here, but man, what you put out there is going to return.
You're so right, because even when we make a contact with someone, we have a thing in the business or in any business that you cultivate. You have to cultivate that client. You have to brew it. That's the same thing that you did with that mindset and stuck in your head. You planted that seed, and that seed now, every single other time fear kicks in or limited belief or I'm not going to do it, I'm going to fail, you're watering that plant.
Exactly.
And you're nurturing it. You're giving it the poppy seeds that it needs to grow a little bit more. And then now subconsciously, even before you have the moment to say that, your instinct and now you start getting your walls start coming up and start saying nope, because you want to be safe. What do they say about humans? We're built to survive, not to prosper or not to to reach out for the stars, like we were saying. But yeah, like you're setting yourself up for failure if you're thinking like that.
Exactly. I mean, and a lot of you guys are watching this in the morning, right? If you don't listen to a good podcast, you got one right here. If you don't read a good book, man, there's plenty of those.
We're gonna write one, so you'll have that coming soon.
So I mean, if you're not putting good things in your mind, what do you expect to put in output? Some of you guys really need to do a Control-Alt-Delete in your life. Yeah. Delete some of those negativity around you. Get rid of some crappy friends. Get rid of some bad clients.
The toxic people in your life.
Exactly.
It's because like what you're saying. Like, what are you feeding your mind? Are you feeding it garbage?
Yeah.
Exactly. No offense, but are you feeding it Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Or even worse than Taco Bell. But what are you feeding your mind? Are you just watching recaps of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
But you're expecting your business to grow?
Yeah. And exactly. And I mean, and some of you guys even saw this, right? You're lazy and you're not going to make it. Let me ask this question, Javi. Did you guys click on that because you felt provoked, or did you feel like, man, I can relate to that? Because if you clicked on it because you felt provoked and you're like, heck no, that's not me, then I want to listen to this, what they mean by that. Or did you be like, yeah, man, I want to relate with a whole bunch of people? Really stop and think about that, because, I mean, look, if you're having that mentality, I'm not going to make it, it's going to cause you to be lazy. It's going to cause you. It's not. You're not gonna wake up extra earlier in the bed. You're not gonna, be all that, hooray kind of guy to go out there and go the extra mile to get that, that promotion, that listing, that, opportunity. You're just not. So you're going to cause yourself to be lazy. I'm not the one, or neither is Javi, calling you lazy. But it's yourself who's calling you, who's telling yourself that you're not going to make it, and it's causing a domino effect of you being lazy, right? So some of you guys are out there and you're not getting up early. You're not, striving to be the best at what you can be, dominate the market. If you're not having that kind of mentality, then you already have that in your mind. You're not going to make it, and the outward reaction is you are lazy. Right?
So true. So true, because if you think those thoughts, it's like it starts with the mind. Everything is mental toughness.
Yeah.
If you set out a goal and you say that you're going to reach that, or you're going to do this, or when I get home, instead of laying down or popping in Netflix and watching 3 hours of The Office, I'm going to do more lead gen. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to, do more of my social media marketing, or even if it's not none of that, at least sharpen your tools in that, right?
Right.
We're having a discussion off air, and we're talking about how many people are actually, investing time into themselves, into knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you went to college, how long ago was that? Or for, fellow people like me, college dropouts, how long ago was it that we spent, $500 on some, on some self-knowledge, on an investment of ourselves to expand our mind? But we'll go to the Gucci store, or we'll go, a night out, to a couple of weekends out drinking, three weekends in Miami. Yeah, you probably could run up to about $500, especially if you're Mr. Suave and trying to get next to the ladies and be like, hey, do you want to drink too? So you could definitely go into that. So yeah, like, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're like, who is it really? Is it your mind, or is it just your actions that are setting yourself up for failure? Because you have to feed it. You have to give it that umph, that self-belief. If you're someone that was just like, or maybe looking for the answers and saying, man, I'm lost in my life. I feel like I'm lazy and I'm not going to make it. And you stumbled across this. Well, let me tell you right now, to switch that up. You are going to make it. You're not lazy. You're a beast at everything you're going to do. Imagine if you lived in a world, if your dreams came, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're going to come tomorrow, but it's just not going to happen. 6-day abs, that doesn't exist. It's all literally kind of like a scam, like, well, I don't know. Everybody's different or whatever like that, but it's a scam. You're going to be successful. It's just not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
You have to continue getting reps. If I want to get buff, if I want to gain more weight, if I want to do whatever is it that I want to do, you have to put your mind into it. And failure should be the last thing that you think of. And like how Gus was saying, get rid of those toxic people. Get rid of those get rid of those bad friends. You have probably about 5 loser friends that you're keeping around just because, like, oh, hey, I know David since I was like 9 years old. I guess we have to be buddies for the rest of our lives. No, sorry, David, you suck. All you freaking do is invite me to drink beers, or all you want, or all we talk about. Only time that we have conversation is when we're trying to get messed up.
David Daza, he is not talking about you.
Yeah, David, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, I
love that. No, look, man, so much truth, so much wisdom in that, man. I mean, and it's not only about friends, right? I want to, since this is a business,
right? It could be your spouse.
Spouse. I mean, that too. But what about clients?
Oh yeah,
man. How many of us are trying to pursue bad clients? Right? How many of us are just trying to cater to bad clients when, man, they're bringing in so much stress and so much anxiety in our life that we're keeping them around, thinking we're hoping for that, good paycheck from them. But really, is it worth all that stress, all that time and energy that it takes to cater to this bad client? And I'm not talking about difficult client. I'm talking about a bad client. Sometimes we're investing way too much time, energy, and money into these things, and it's time to just say, hey, look, I know my self-worth. I know how much I'm worth. I know how much my time is worth, and how much I know my dollar value, right? And for a bad client or bad friend or whatever, it's I got to keep those Benjamin close. So if I'm gonna keep reaching out and giving it to other people, man, it better come with a return on that. And sometimes we're just hanging on to these false hopes and false dreams, man. But we really got to touch on that.
And but sometimes we're at a fault because we're desperate for a client. Finally, we have that client. You know, we're in business. It feels good. And then after a while, you start noticing that this is a bad client.
Yeah.
But then you're like, wait, I'm gonna tell a client no? Yes, you have that power. You're a business owner. You're the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you no longer have to call, Anna Marie and say, hey, is this cool? No, you're the boss, and you could get to say, hey, you know what? I don't think that this work relationship is going to work out.
Exactly.
Because we're not seeing eye to eye,
And let me ask you this. Okay, so
my bad. Before you ask me that question, is that also you can't put a price tag on good vibes? As I said that on the Ambition Hour podcast, and Nordis hella loved that, and it's the truth. You can't put a price tag on good vibes or good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have 2 amazing clients or 2 good clients than rather having 5 shitty ones that just cause me nothing but stress. That causes me nothing but anxiety, are hitting me, are texting me, calling me, all randomly during the night, time, and day, or for any little thing, or simply, especially dealing a bit in real estate. Maybe you have a client who doesn't listen, and you're trying to give that expertise, especially a little bit in my world when I'm trying to show an agent how, or I'm trying to show how social media can help out. How it's your friend. It's a bit of a scary place. You have a lot of things. You could follow certain accounts, and then you start seeing different things, and you may not be wanting to see that, but you control it though.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't put a price tag on good vibes.
Yeah, and then also, Javi, so we took a little survey from our first podcast of what we wanted to hear from some of you guys, and this is some of the things that you guys asked that you guys want us to talk about. So communication, retention of clients, adapting to the future, and not stuck in the current. That's a good topic right there.
It's a great topic.
And then breaking bad habits. Breaking bad habits.
All
right, so I definitely want to go into adopting to the future and not stuck in the current, right? Because if we know how to change that, if we know how to adopt to the future and not get stuck in the current or the past, then we'll know how to, change our title, right? We'll know how to,
ask for that raise.
Exactly. And we'll not be stuck on the laziness. So let me ask, so whenever I thought about that, adopting to the future and not stuck in the past, I immediately thought about that jock who did really good in high school sports.
You know who you are,
it's that crazy uncle who all he does is talk about how in 1778, all those
back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day,
cigarettes were this much.
Chewing gum.
Yeah, chewing gum. Yeah. I remember a soda pop cost.
No, but I mean, that's what I think about. Is that crazy uncle who all he does is talk about his prime time, which was his high school football, right? And he's like 50 years old. It's like that was 40 years ago, 30 years ago. It's like, come on, man. We're and we're about to hit 2020.
Yeah, we could
2020. Isn't that's insane to me whenever I think about that, 2020.
That is pretty crazy.
But yeah, man.
We could be a prisoner of our past. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even saying telling to ourselves, well, it didn't work out with this client. It didn't work out with that client. And instead of pushing forward and living in the present, that's, I think, the main thing. Yeah, we like to think about the future too, and I know we're going to go into that, but also being present to the present, because the future is happening now.
Exactly.
Literally right now. Anything that happened before, I like to think about it like this, another sports reference, sorry to the uncle, but, Kobe Bryant, who's actually successful. But you don't think about the last play. Like, just because I missed the shot last time we had the ball,
or I made the last shot,
or I caused a turnover, or I stepped out of bounds by mistake. Oh, now all of a sudden, don't pass me the ball. No, or no, I'm not going to shoot. I'm only going to pass now. Mm-hmm. Like, that shouldn't determine your pass shouldn't determine your next move.
Exactly.
You should go into everything as a whole new experience. And trust me, if you live a little bit like that, and if you can adapt one thing from this podcast and live like that, everything is a whole new experience. It's not like how it once was, because this time is different just because of your mind. You'll start seeing that.
So, okay, so how do we adapt to the future and not get stuck in the current?
A little bit of that, a little bit of that medicine of not being a prisoner of the past, and putting it out that everything is. There's a lot of P's there, but everything in the present is happening now, and everything is a new experience. Yeah, you tied your shoes, but what if you took a different approach? Or you done this, or we, like how we say, we have several business owners. Okay, you made that T-shirt, but what if you did it differently or with a new flavor? You're just like, oh man, because then if it is repetition, all you're doing is just pressing it down. You're press printing, and you're just like, man, what is it? But what happens if you just gave it a little love? Remember how we used to say, or still say, guilty, like to moms, like, but you just make it better with love, like is this that you put that love in there, that they don't do at Popeyes or at Taco Bell when they're making a burrito or a taco.
Exactly.
They're just and fucking here you go. Oh, here you go. I've been cursing way too much on this podcast. I apologize. I am a child.
Look, going back, if you're not preparing for the future, man, you're either stuck in the current or stuck in the past, right? Just think about it. We're in real estate and we're doing a podcast in front of you guys, and we're just communicating. What does this have to do with real estate? Everything, because we're focusing on the future, and the future is connecting with people and being a people business. So I mean, man, you have to expand your horizon. Your horizon can't just be this. It has to be this if you're a business owner, right? That's the complete difference between being an employee and a business owner. An employee thinks, I got to come in, clock in, do this, and this, and then I'm done. Now, a business owner, man, they're thinking, look, how's my technology? How's this? How's that? What am I going to do for my next client? See, in real estate, we don't have the luxury of getting paid in the same day, right? So, and what we say here is, man, your next paycheck is always 3 months ahead, right?
Yep.
So whatever I'm doing now is going to determine in 3 months. Okay, maybe that's true for you. Maybe there's some attorneys out there. It's going to take some 3 months to connect with. Maybe there's some plumbers out there. It's going to take some 3 months to get the next client. If you're only stuck with concentrating on getting today's client and that's it, then, man, you are not going to make it.
You're going to fail.
You're going to fail. You're not going to make it. And then this is, against today's podcast, you're not going to make it and you're lazy. Why? Why are you lazy? Because you're not thinking about the future, right? You are stuck in the current or in the past.
Thank you so much, because I was mentioning a lot about the present, but you could also be a prisoner of the present too, instead of just the past, because you have to look at the future. When are you taking vacation? When do you plan, or that it's mom's birthday, you're going to take that weekend off, or what future business or what future plans, what you have set up. I know for my business, what we did was, okay, this is the year 2019. By the end of the year, I want to be able to say this, and this, that all this happened. Yeah. Either it's releases, either it's numbers or revenue brought in, but you want, my mission for this year is to double what we made last year.
Exactly.
And I know at December 31st, I could feel happy and accomplished and proud of myself.
When that happens.
Exactly. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. And again, thinking about the future, not the past or the current.
Right. Or not think about, by next week, I have to hit those numbers. No. Then when January 1st brings this nasty head in, in the new year, now I have to see, what do I want to say at the end of the year?
Yeah.
How do I want my end of the year to look like, right? A lot of times, especially, and I know, I'm young myself, but we get caught up in this go with the flow. You know,
Exactly.
we're so subjective to our schedules being laid out. Okay, Javi, this is when you go to school. Okay, Javi, you have math between this time and that time. Okay, then you have PE throughout this time, and then you have to go home at that time.
Same thing with business owners,
Same
man.
thing with business
Employees,
owners and
employees, man.
Employees, you're like, okay, I got to do this. But what if that Taco Bell guy took an extra hour out and said, no, you know what? I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna help out, sort packages or do inventory and all that stuff. Do you think he's gonna start doing some head turns in there? Like,
Yeah.
why is Josue staying late?
Yeah.
Why is he coming in on his day off?
Yeah.
You know, and not just in Taco Bell, but any other business. Like, because he's a go-getter.
Yeah.
He's going to do above and beyond. No one wants someone that doesn't want to go above and beyond.
Exactly.
If you're going to settle for mediocre and get C's, guess what? Those guys don't go to Harvard. I didn't go to Harvard. I settled for C's. And you got to break through that and say, no, the only way you make progress, you plan for the future, and you say, I'm going to overextend myself.
Exactly. You know what I had a little revelation. I had a little revelation. I'm going to share it with you. This just came to me. I mean, check this out. Every current second is in the past.
Woo! Just got hot in here.
Every current second is in the past. So, I mean, if you keep thinking, I'm going to do it right now, I'm going to do it now, and, you know, it's just now, it's like, man, that's already in the past. You know, it's like
you already failed.
Yeah, you know, it's like, okay, and this happens a lot in real estate, right? So you have this trend. What happens? You get a client, and let me back it up. You do all this marketing. And then once you do all this marketing, you know, you do all this phone calls. And then after the phone calls, you get everything going just to get that client. You spend hours and hours and hours on the phone just to get that one client. And then what happens? You get the client. The client goes down in your pipeline. And then once you have the client, then you start to service that client, right? You start to give them you start
putting them on a campaign.
Putting them on campaign, doing email blasts, you know, servicing the client, right? What you're supposed to do. And then, but what happens to your lead generation? You're not lead generating anymore because, you know, you're servicing that client. You are stuck in the current. So this is what we call like the bell of real estate, right? An awesome mega real estate agent, they're going to go ahead and put that in the pipeline, but they're not going to stop thinking about the future. They're not going to stop, you know, lead generating and bringing in new client, bringing in new business. Why? Because they know that business is stuck. It's going to get paid out in 3 months from now. Right? So the bad agent, the bad real estate agent, or the bad you know, business owners, they do everything to get that one client, and then once they get that one client, they stop lead generating, but they continue servicing the client. They give them an amazing service, and then they get paid, and then once they use up all that paycheck, what do? Oh man, I gotta lead generate again. It's like a mystery to them. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think I was gonna have to lead generate again. And this is, you know, it happens so often,
right?
Especially in the real estate business, man.
Or in any business, right? Let's say there's someone that left a Raven review. You know, or to Mario's plumber. They yeah. They loved him. They serviced him. They remember Mario going above and beyond. He came on his mother's birthday while his car broke down. The whole story, right? Mario is now 2 years, 3 years down the line. He doesn't remember that client.
No,
he doesn't remember that client because he's been so the next one. We always say, you know, the money's in the follow up.
Yeah.
What if he stayed consistent a little bit? You know, not being a pest. You know, but checking in every once in a while. Oh, hey, I saw it was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Or, hey, did you hear about this? Oh, I have a ongoing special. That client could bring in so much more business too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're so stuck in the present. We probably don't even get them on the campaign. Let's say also that the flip end. We don't get them on the campaign. We don't follow up. You know, we don't remember to check in with them after a while. Because what, you know, just like in every business, guess what? You're going to need dry cleaning. You're going to need your clothes dry cleaned again. You know, you're doing food. You're going to get hungry again.
Mm-hmm.
I used to always think that, hospital, barbershop is always a good business because hair always grows.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, sorry. If please see the ad below, and maybe they can help you out. but
Rogaine.
Rogaine. Yeah. Hospitals. People are always gonna get sick.
Exactly.
We're gonna get hurt. We're idiots. We're gonna twist our ankle and have to go get checked up.
There's only one thing that's certain in life.
Oh boy.
One thing that's certain in life, and that's death.
Mm-hmm.
So you should always be lead generating. I'm gonna put that out there. that certainty of that next client is gonna come. Because you were a rock star this entire month, this entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to lead generate anymore. I don't have to continue being awesome. And I'll tell you this, Javi. I was watching Kitchen Nightmare with Chef Ramsay.
Yeah.
And he went.
That's I watched an episode before this. That's why I'm cursing so much.
I can imagine going into someone's business and be like, "Oh, it's all crap. It's all crap. You guys all suck in life. It's all crap." Yeah. I can just imagine doing that. But anyway, so I was watching this episode.
At least he gives them solutions, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So I was watching this episode, and he went into this pizza parlor. And in the pizza parlor, there was a plaque that said "Best Pizza in Town," signed by the mayor. And they had it in a plaque, and it was awesome. But the plaque was named in 1995. They had that up, right? They had that monument. And the decor of the restaurant looked like a 1995 decor style. All the furniture were old. All the chandelier was outdated. It was dusty. It was nasty. The kitchen was, the
and
food.
Blockbuster isn't open, and this place is still running.
Yeah, and the food was, it was outdated. It was outdated. And I remember watching that episode. The owners, they kept saying, well, the mayor gave us this plaque in 1995 for being the top pizza parlor in the city. I'm sorry, but it's a small city. There was no other pizza parlor around in 1995 in that area.
And Pizza Hut and Baba John's didn't come into town until 1985.
So, I mean, and you think about that. How many of us, right, we get that one big commission check and say, I'm good. I was a top agent in 1995.
Right.
I was a top, business owner in 1995.
Or I love agents that say, oh, well, I produced 17 million. What year? Oh, 2015. Bro, what? That might as well be wiped away from history.
Like, is that still in a bank account that you're still using up?
Are you still using that up? Or like that you know what that literally is? It's saying, hey, I made honor roll in second grade.
Oh man.
Like, okay. Oh.
It's like, what are you doing now?
Cool,
right?
I guess.
And going back, like if you're not thinking about the future, you're stuck in the current or in the past, right? So if you're not doing anything to make your business tech savvy, man. Some of you guys are business owners and you don't even have a website. I'm going to put that plain and simple. Some of y'all's business cards are outdated. Some of you guys, your business cards have the headshot from 20 years ago when you were skinny. I'm sorry, man.
That's how I looked in 2015, though, Gus. I look like that. I keep it there to motivate
me. Your business card should not be your motivation.
That's why you're lazy and not going to make it.
And that's why you're lazy and you're not going to make it, right? So how do we change all that? So how do we change you're not going to make it mentality? And then if you can change you're not going to make it mentality, it will affect your laziness. So what's the opposite of laziness?
Energy.
Grit. Grind. It's enduring the suck. And Ambition. Man. So, okay. So, man.
Wait.
It's on point, man.
If you guys are still thinking that you're lazy or not going to make it, please comment below. We'll do a follow-up episode to fire you up. Oh, also, before we head out, you also need to find out what motivates you and what pushes you to go forward. Mm-hmm. That's probably where you're having also another problem. You can't find that source of ambition or energy
Yeah.
Until your mom tells you something, or till your loved one or your girlfriend, or boyfriend, whatever, it comes to you and say, hey, do you plan on working at Taco Bell for the next 3 months?
Yep.
And you're like, well, I got what do you mean the next 3 months? I got this job to freaking take you out, like, or whatever. Like, I'm trying to think about tomorrow, or like I have, or even the poor man mentality of that, tomorrow isn't promised. Live for today. I'm only living in the moment. Exactly. Step outside of that and start seeing what motivates you, what lights the fire under your butt to get out of bed and go get it. Exactly. And just always be mindful of that I'm going to go get it.
Exactly.
And you're going to win. If you do that, if you're going to go get it, look, there's the difference between quitters and winners? Just one thing. The winners never quitted.
Yeah.
There you have it, man.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, man. That was a good one. I like that one. I really enjoyed that one. So you're lazy and you're not going to make it. Go ahead and change that. Comment below. Hey, look, I don't care if it's some self-affirmation. Comment your response. Were you guys provoked enough?
Yeah.
Because if you guys weren't provoked enough, we did something wrong.
We did something wrong.
The
next one's going to be like, you're a loser. All caps. No, I'm kidding.
No, look. So, again.
Honestly,
yeah.
Comment below.
Comment below. Look, I was provoked but challenged, and, it did me some good. Or just say, hey, look, it wasn't challenging enough, and we'll bring the heat next time, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Man, we're ready to go.
Exactly. All right, Javi, thanks again, man. You're a rock star, brother.
Thank you, too, man. You're a legend.
All right, let's kick this out.
Peace.